Hey, 10-minute book talkers, Katherine Reay here with Rachel Linden and Marie Bostwick, and we are so excited to welcome you and welcome J'nell Ciesielski today to talk about a collaboration with other writers, Rachel Macmillan and Amy Runyon, The Castle Keepers. So welcome, J'nell, and can you tell us a little about this stories?
Yes. So this is
plural.
a collaborative novel that I wrote with Amy Runyon and Rachel Macmillan. And so it has 3 different storylines in it, and we each wrote one of them, but they are all connected. They are part of the same family. And so Amy starts off with, I forget the war because each one of them are war related, but hers starts during the Gilded Age, basically. And her character is one of the dollar princesses who comes from America, and she comes and she marries the Earl of this castle because the castle was kind of falling down at the time, and her money helps to boost it up. And then in mine, we switch over to the Great War, where the son has been injured and his face has been disfigured, and so they hire an artist from the Tin Noses shop to come and recreate a face mask for him. And then in Rachel's story, the last one, the castle has been turned into kind of a recovery home of sorts for the men who are suffering shell shock, and where they're going through psychological analysis and stuff. So it follows the same family, and they all live within the same castle, which is why it's called Castle Keepers. And they each have their own ghosts to overcome, and there's kind of a family curse that sort of links them. So yeah, that's it.
Wow, that sounds so interesting, and I love how this kind of thread works through it. But I mean, I have to ask, so where did the original idea come from? I mean, was it you? Was it somebody else? And what sparked that? And how did the 3 of you come together to write this?
That is all Rachel. Everybody in the industry knows Rachel because she is wonderful and amazing, and she's so supportive of writers. And her editor, Kim at Muse, said, hey, I'm really looking for like a collaborative type project to work on. What do you think? So Rachel came and asked me and Amy if we would like to join up. And of course, I was like, yes, please. I would love to work with you and Amy, 2 people that I highly respect. And so that's where it came from. And I think that the idea for a castle was kind of already there. I think it was something that Kim, our editor, was already looking for. And so Amy came up with the castle. It's based off of Alnwick Castle, which is a real castle. And then I think maybe we came up with the generational idea of characters.
How fun.
That is so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go off topic for a moment and ask, are these all love stories? Is there a love story in each one?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, they are romances. They're historical, obviously, but there are romances in each one of them.
Okay, I was getting that feeling, but I haven't read the whole thing. And so I was like, I wonder, is this following all the way through? I love that because who doesn't love love? Okay, yeah. My actual question is, what was the most interesting part of this process for you? Was it research? Was it the collaboration? Was it the castle location? What was it?
So my favorite part of the writing process is always research, and because you learn so many interesting things and you want to include all of it in there. So when I started researching Alnwick Castle, which is the real castle that ours is based off of, I found out that they have a poison garden.
I read about that.
Yes, and I thought that's too exciting to not include in a storyline. So it turns out that the Duchess of Northumberland, who is the real Duchess of the castle, she wanted to create a garden that was interesting. She didn't want it your typical rose garden or, bushes and trees and stuff. She wanted something interesting that would bring people, and as well as being educational. And so she went to Italy and she toured the Medici poison garden over there. And she thought, that's it. That's what I want to do. So now, in addition, they have a regular garden, but she also has a little part of it that's strictly for poisonous type plants. And it's so poisonous.
So handy.
It's so poisonous that you have to be careful breathing.
Right. You have to do what?
You have to be careful when you breathe because you can pass out. It's so poisonous.
Get out. Okay.
So we put it in the book.
That's cool. That's cool.
You have to put it in a
so
book.
Cool.
Okay, when I asked that question, I did not expect a poison garden. That is one of the most interesting answers ever.
Yep.
Sort of
Yep.
horrifying. Wow.
Okay, but I also wrote this down, cutting into that a little bit. You have the Mask of Facial Disfigurement Department, a
Mhm.
real department in the Great War?
Yes, yes, it was, so a lot of the men, they had these absolutely horrific disfigurements coming out, and there's only so much that the surgeons can do. So this artist by the name of, slips my mind, Dr. Wood or Dr. Durwood, he decided, well, he's an artist, and so he thought, I'm going to do what I can. And so he got a bunch of his friends, artists and molders and all of these experienced artisans, and they would create masks for the soldiers, whatever part, like their jaw had been blown off or they were missing an eye or whatever, they would create glass eyes and brand new prosthetics and different ways. And it allowed the soldiers to feel more themselves and that they could go back into society without people being scared to death of them.
Did they look like their faces? Like
It did. If you look at the pictures, I mean, obviously you can tell it's not perfect, but it was the best humanity that they could give back to them. And they would try to get an old photo of the person so that it matched as best they could.
Oh, that was amazing to read about as well. There is so much in this book, everyone. But J'nell, tell us what is next? What is next for you? Either you three, you individually, what literary?
So I actually have a couple of things on the docket. We are collaborating again because we thought it was so successful. So we're working on another one, and it's like Christmas time during the Great War. And it's surrounding, instead of being generational, because we had a lot of issues working out the timeline for that, we decided to have an object that linked our three stories. And we came up with a scarf that's based off of the Liberty of London scarves.
Oh, love that.
So
Now, is that for, will that release Christmas 2023 or 2024?
that's coming out next fall, I think.
Okay.
Is when the deadline is. But then this August, I have my next release, which is part of the Jack and Ivy series. This is the second one.
Here's
And
the first, everybody.
it's the first one.
I've gotten to read them both.
So this is the second one. It's a duology, so there's only two, and this one comes out in August, and they're based off of the Winter Soldier from the Marvel's Avengers story. So it's what happens when the Winter Soldier falls in love. That's what these are.
Okay, so what happens to the Winter Soldier when he falls in love in the time period of the First World War? I mean, these are remarkable stories, and I hope
Thank you.
go grab The Brilliance of Stars before, because this will air in May or June, and go grab that before you get to Free the Stars.
Yes, and the ebook of Brilliance of Stars is on sale right now too. So
that's fun.
you are a busy bee, my
I
goodness.
know.
yes, very busy.
Congratulations.
So many exciting things. Well, before we let you go, though, we ask everybody this one question, and we want to know your answer. J'nell, what is bringing you joy today?
Well, it's sunny outside today, and it's been raining lately, so that's nice. And it looks like we're going to have sun on Saturday, which is exciting because we're having Viking Fest.
And what is Viking Fest?
It's a festival for Vikings.
Okay.
So I know you get to drink mead and
Is there
watch them.
pillaging? Will there be pillaging?
I don't think so. It's a
And
family.
where is this festival?
It's in Manassas, Virginia. So
Okay.
if you live nearby, Viking Fest.
I did not know there were any Vikings in Manassas, Virginia. You know what? This is what I love about our show. I didn't know about the Tin Noses department.
Right.
A poison
Poison
garden
garden.
seems like something that could come in handy. And now if I go to Virginia, I need to be on the lookout for Vikings. So
So many things.
One more time, J'nell, hold up that beautiful cover of the Castle Keepers. And everybody, this is, it's not a trilogy, it's a collection of novellas between Rachel McMillan, Amy Runyon, and J'nell Ciesielski. And please grab a copy. It is wonderful. We are thoroughly enjoying it. So thank you all so much for being here. And thank you, J'nell, for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everybody, we'll see you next week at the 10-Minute Book Talk. Bye-bye.